Shabbat shalom to everyone. Hopefully you got a chance to meet somebody new, or at least to visit with someone you haven't had the chance to see over the week. We're very happy that you're here at BJ. And for this Shabbat, we're going to be reading Parshat Mishpatim, which is the continuation. We received the Torah last week, and we're going to continue now with a bunch of laws. Anything you can imagine, actually the large majority of our laws, our halakha, will stem from this week's parasha. At the very end of both last week and also this week, we see that when we take on as Bnei Yisrael, as the people of Israel, when we take on the responsibility of the Torah, we say, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and then we will hear. And there's much to say around this idea of what is it that we first jump in by saying we'll do something, and then we'll understand it, then we'll listen, then we'll try to unpack what it all means. But to our Hasidic tradition, it gets at the heart of what I think is just so beautiful about law, and particularly, I will say, halakha and Jewish law. Although I don't think it's exclusive, but that's the relationship of the law being about body, physical doing and action, and also mind, heart, and soul. That law is made up of all of these different pieces. And the teachers, the Hasidic teachers, say that when the people of Israel were prepared to take the Torah, they weren't blindly accepting the Torah when they said, Na'aseh v'nishma. They weren't just saying, we will just do whatever you say, and we're not going to understand it. You could imagine that being the case when you say, we'll do, and then we'll understand. But that they placed their doing before their understanding, and that this is a symbol that God's desire, and God desires that we should do as well as we should hear, or we should comprehend what God's will is, so that we serve God not only with our hands and our feet, but also, they say, with our minds and with our hearts, or neshama, our souls and our hearts. But our doing should serve as the basis of our understanding rather than the other way around. So that by doing, it allows us to understand. And we know this from life experience, that sometimes we learn something over and over, but until we experience it, until it happens to us, the two come together, and that's actually the beauty of what it is to understand and to be a part of a system, and particularly when it comes to rules or laws. I think a great example is playing a board game for the first time. You can read through all of the booklet, and it's not until you actually start to play that you understand what's happening and how it unfolds and which piece goes where, and so on. I see a lot of nodding, so it's good for Shabbat. The kids just went up to play board games. But I think that this is also the approach to law in which we crave right now, in a system of saying it's not just about doing, but it's also a law system that sees an entire being. It sees body, mind, and soul. And in this week's parasha, amongst many, many laws that we have, we also come across the law, or really the piece of Torah itself, which teaches us, and which the rabbis take over many, many generations as an understanding of why it is so important for us as a people to have the right to choose for women and those who are birthing people, those who are in their bodies, to choose, and not only to choose the right to their reproductive rights, but also to be able to have access to those rights. That this is a part of law. Law is not only just about doing, but it's about seeing the people who are behind it. It's understanding the body, it's understanding the soul, the heart. Why do we have these laws? What is this all about? And synagogues and communities across America are celebrating and really raising our voices in saying that this is Repro Shabbat, reproductive Shabbat. You can find information in the back. There's a table there that will give you a lot of information, but it is actually a part of our Torah itself. It is not that religion, I think many times we think that religion and halakha, the law, tells us that we have to think a certain way, that we have to value certain values that are traditional, and it's not the case when it comes to our Jewish tradition. Our Jewish tradition is complicated, we know, and that's also one of the beauties of law, that it's not always so clear-cut, particularly what's written in the Torah, these mishpatim, these laws that we see written there, the way the rabbis take them and expound on them. They also say we are creating a system and we are creating a community where people come first and relationship come first, and how do we build that and how do we see that? And the way that this unfolds for us in this particular case is that there are many conversations around how and when life starts for us in the Torah, even it's not clear, and also the dignity of each and every living being, and the idea that Tselem Elohim, we are each made in the image of God, and that each of us has the right to choose, and that each of us should have access to that right, which is over many, many years a conversation in the law that unfolds and brings us to this point of saying the Torah is a living and breathing body. Na'aseh v'nishma. We are going to do, and we are also going to learn and understand how that impacts the world, how that brings our values, which are at the heart of who we are as a people, into reality and into what it means to be in relationship with each other. And it's just to say that this is not something that is new. This is celebrated each Parshat Mishpatim. There's Repro Shabbat. But since 2011, just to give an idea of, as a country, and I think many of us know, we are grappling and fighting and holding on to so much of what we believe needs to be happening, and we want to see in the way that we treat each and every person with that dignity and that respect. Since 2011, we've had over 450 laws that are restricting access to reproductive health care, which have been made with even more since we know the fall of Roe versus Wade, which was in 2022. And that we have to, in terms of the way that we think about this idea, that it's not only about legal, safe rights to abortion and to individuals who are able to choose and the right to have access to that choice as well, but that it's Judaism believes in both of these, that we believe in the dignity of all, the health of all, and that laws that once again stretch us in our action as well as our emotionally and spiritual beings, that these are laws that are made to say, who is at the heart of it? Na'aseh v'nishma. What is it that we're actually trying to do? And what is it that we're trying to learn? It's a right to choose, and the choice also needs to come with the action. The two are hand in hand. That law without compassion isn't Torah. It's not law. And action without reflection, it isn't complete. That one goes with the other. Na'aseh v'nishma. We hear it. We're going to hear it in the Torah. We're going to hear it over again. And this is a call. It's a call for each one of us today in a world that is really hard, in a country where law feels like it's slipping away, where we don't even recognize what it is that we are trying to build sometimes. And it's telling us to act, that we need to protect the dignity and the health and the autonomy, to listen, really deeply listen, na'aseh and nishma, to lived experience, to the suffering, to the complexity, to the people who are going through this, to understand what it is that we are trying to do collectively, and to build a society where law reflects the sacred worth of each and every person who is a part of this society and this community. On this Repro Shabbat, my hope is that we can each stretch, that it stretches us, that as we hear these laws and as we particularly think about where we are as a country, that it stretches us in our deeds and in our understanding, and that we can honor that Tselem Elohim in every body, in every single body. And may our commitment to Torah guide us toward that justice, to the compassion, to the courage, and to the action which we need to create the world that we are trying to build together. Shabbat Shalom.